All right, hello everybody. Welcome to an impromptu reading. I don't do this very often, but today I just felt like it would be a great chance for us to kick the month off on the right foot. And as I was kind of like finishing up the daily, which I still need to edit and upload, there was just this clear energy that we needed to actually do a little bit of clearing. And I'm going to turn on one more light here in just a second, but the message that came through was to really just kind of like help us get out of our own way. So that's the goal here. Welcome everybody. Let me turn on one last light so you can see me and then we'll get started. And we have Mr. Apollo here as well, showing a little bit of love and light here at the beginning of the month. So as a bonus, for all the members, I have a member-only chat, but this is going to be available to everybody afterwards. So in case you come late or just didn't have a chance to watch this when it's live, it will be available later. Okay, let's get started. We're going to go straight into a 3-card pull. What I want to look at is past, present, and future influences going on in this moment right now. And really focusing on the month of September, what it's bringing, and what we might be kind of like dragging with us. So in the past, what are you dragging with you in the month that's coming through? And what are the possibilities in this moment in time? Actually, we'll put the possibilities here. And where's your head at? That's what I want to see. Okay, sounds good. This is actually not bad at all. So let's take a look at each one of these cards. We're going to start off with what you're bringing with you. So the Ace of Wands is actually an auspicious card. It's that like aha moment, a brainstorm, an epiphany. But sometimes, I was just talking about this a little bit with even Page of Swords, there's hesitation when it's reversed. And this is usually hesitation in taking action on it. But it could also just be, for some of you, overthinking or worrying about something too much. It's important to take this spark of inspiration and initiate it. I love that we have a bow and arrow here. Release it. Whatever it is that you're thinking about doing, whatever it is that you're holding on to, now is the time to initiate and really make some action happen. Where your head's at right now is the 6 of Wands, which is abundance. We have the scene set for everything to start to work, but maybe someone or something hasn't shown up yet. So the message from Spirit is, it's almost like a doubling down of these first 2 cards. So you might have been pausing because you were worried about something. And now we see that because you haven't gotten immediate gratification, the mind might start to go to a worst case scenario. Don't let it. We have here in the future the King of Cups, which is associated with creativity, receptivity, meaning others are receptive, but you have to continue to feel and believe what it is that you want to do. So overthinking and then panicking because you're not getting immediate results. Everything. It's kind of like when you start to change your diet or exercise routine. Very rarely, except for like sore muscles if you're working out, are you going to get immediate results. It takes days, weeks, and months to see the full impact. That's what we're getting here. Give it up to 6 weeks. 6 of Wands, success, but also can be associated with a timeline. So it feels to me like you're tracking, but you're just worrying because you didn't get that immediate gratification or that immediate feedback. So that's the first message. I want to look at fear because that's the next word that's coming to me. So let's just pull a single card to see what could be initiating or causing some fear in your life at this moment in time. Aha. Okay, so we're going to clarify it since we got the Devil. Okay. And before we go there, Apollo's back, so we can take a look at our little Apollo cam. He's not afraid. He's happy and he's holding space. So the Devil came through. In and of itself, we really don't even need a clarifying card with the Devil. It represents oftentimes limiting thoughts. So you can be your own sort of devil energy where you think, I can't do it, it won't happen, and I'm not, insert whatever it is that you don't think you are, enough. I'm not smart enough, I'm not young enough, I'm not this enough. And then therefore you limit or close a door. So we're going to let go of that kind of thinking. There can be people around you that also project the fear. Well, what if you do this? Are you going to make enough money? Or, how long will it take? And all this other stuff. So this is something that you want to really kind of like separate yourself from, because it does take you out of your power and it does limit scope and potential. Emotions. I got that the devil was mostly emotional. So it is, and so we're looking at fear. So the fear is just this fear of rejection, disappointment, because all of these things would be the Page of Cups in reverse. So disappointment, and sometimes also just being afraid to show your emotions, because we've been taught in so many ways, shapes, and forms that we're supposed to keep it in. So enthusiasm, passion, and positivity are examples of really good use of emotions. But when it comes to the fear of rejection, you never know what's possible if you don't give it an attempt. A surefire way to make the devil happy is just not to try it. And that's the only way that you can be guaranteed failure. If you try, you have a chance of success. The more you try, the better you get, the more successful you'll be in the long run. So that's the takeaway on that one. But especially if there is someone in your life that just has a tendency to kind of like shackle you down with their fears or anxieties, this isn't the time to allow that to kind of stand in your way anymore. Okay? Okay. Let's see what's available for you, and we're going to look at it in, what I'm going to do is kind of like just do the expanded forecast in 3 cards here. So we're going to look at it as health, wealth, love, and destiny, just that portion, skipping to the good stuff, and see what's coming through. And we're just going to use tarot cards for this. In health, in wealth, just make sure this is fully shuffled. In love, in destiny. Okay. It's a nice mix. Let me go to the main camera here. We're going to talk about in health this month. What we have here is the making and breaking of cycles here, the 8 of Cups. So this is a good time. We're out of retrograde, thank goodness, right? The shadow's mostly gone too. So we can actually start to focus on creating and really embracing possibilities. Not only that, this is a card of returns. So if you had been meaning to do something or say something or connect with someone, well, there's no time like the present. This is really what this is saying. So finish up old business, start new things, and cut out anything, also any habits in your life, because we're looking at health, that just don't feel right for you. All of this is going to help you feel like you're on more stable ground. One pure health read of this also is just take a break. Some of you have been overdue for like a vacation or some sort of a reprieve. So I actually love what I see in health. You have the power to choose a path, to cut out something from your life, or to go back and do some unfinished business. All right. Looking now at the energy of wealth, we have the sun in reverse, and this is birthing, creation, release, and also really owning the power and the potential that you have in your life. I also love how we have like a celebration here, almost like a 3 of Cups energy, also like Maiden and Crone and I forget the other one. So we're seeing like the different stages of our life. Some of you might be having that moment where you're thinking, this isn't what I planned for myself, and therefore I'm going to make some changes. You don't have to wait until a milestone birthday for that to happen. Sometimes it comes through when a parent passes away or when you see someone else really kind of maximizing their moment in time. So now is the time to make the change and to get on that bucket list and make things happen, okay? Because time does go quicker than you think. I was thinking about it as I was driving. I'd met some friends in college that they were already like in their career. Maybe they were 10 years older, and I just met them through friends of friends. But I remember talking about goals and dreams, and they said, because I said, oh, I'll eventually get to this. They said, be careful. Time has a way of just kind of like advancing before you know it. Years and years later, I totally understand what they're saying. So I'm going to impart the same wisdom to you. If there's something you need or want to do in the realm of business, money, or personal development, what are you waiting for? Now is the time, because it's easier when you're at the younger stage or the middle stage. The longer you take to initiate it, the more energy it takes to kind of get it to take flight. There is no expiration date, though. Do it whenever, But for those of you that are dragging your feet just because this is a little bit of a nudge and a wake-up call from the universe, now is the time to make something happen, okay? There could be some good news for some of you too. The Sun card can represent an incoming job offer or growth opportunity. But the reversal of this is really about making sure that you feel ready and worthy, something we've been really working hard on for it feels like 4 months. So I think this is the culmination of all of that, all right? Looking at love and relationships, we actually have an ideal card here in the Six of Cups. So friendship is where it kind of all begins, and I think this is the key focus. If you don't have the sense of friendship and camaraderie and connection, it's very hard to build it later. But if it starts there, anything is possible. For those of you in existing relationships, it's about deepening the bond, having some fun. This is a playful card. It's not sensual or sexual, it's playful. It is in the realm of love, but it's about kind of like just having some fun and not being so serious. So for those of you in a relationship already, it is about getting back into that, even if you've built a lot upon it. We're not going to drill too deep. This is mini, so I'm just highlighting and doing salient things here. But connections and networking are possible this month. So definitely get out there, get out and mix and mingle. Six of Cups is a great card for that. And I love the Destiny card. If you're thinking of going back to school, learning something new, publishing something, sharing something, teaching or mentoring, anything really associated with expansion and learning, this is the time to do it. This is also the card for writers and creators. You're really in a good energy right now. So, and we're just on the precipice of a change of season, though in Los Angeles, it's going to be like 101 degrees Fahrenheit tomorrow. So you wouldn't know it. You wouldn't know that we're close to fall. It still feels like blazing summer. But we are on that precipice of the change of seasons. And there's a lot of energy that comes through as we kind of like ease up on that. Really everything from now until one of my favorite holidays, Halloween, which we'll always do a special reading for. There's a lot that you can do between now and Halloween. So we'll keep taking a look at it. All of the, by the way, all the September readings are on the main channel, and I'm going to start with all of the October ones tomorrow and the rest of this week. So they'll at normal schedule where I'll try to get out about 3 per week. But let's keep an eye. I feel like the next 2 months, some really good stuff can happen. So for the members that are in chat, anything going on with you that you'd like me to look at, broadly speaking, biggest challenge, what's going on? I'll try to generalize it for everybody that's present. And then I'm going to look at a couple of things while you guys are putting the questions out there, because I know there's a bit of a delay. So while you're putting a couple of questions into the main chat, this is only for those that are watching live, I'm going to look at some other things. One of them is, what do you need to know? It's not necessarily what you want to know, but what do you need to know? And let's see what Spirit has to say on that. Okay, that's good. And how can you get there? Okay. So a couple of things here with the Six of Wands. Success is subjective. I was listening to someone on a podcast. They were, I didn't like the podcast at all, actually. I didn't like the person asking questions because they were kind of like attacking someone and saying, well, you know, now that you're not as relevant or don't have as much success, what does that do for you? And I kind of thought about like the differing versions of success. This person equated success with prominence or popularity. I equate success with how much of an impact you're making. So they're not necessarily mutually inclusive or exclusive. They're just two separate things. So I don't know why it bothered me. I just thought, like, because I always think of how to ask questions. That wasn't the way to ask the question. It would be like, what's your changing view on success? And what are you doing in your life now? Like, make it a positive question, right? What are you doing now that makes you feel like you're making an impact or being successful or fulfilling? The fact that someone just wanted to get under someone's skin, you know, we see it in everyday life too. People will kind of like, they enjoy seeing someone not on top. It's not a cool thing. So let's try to lift each other up. And if you have people around you that aren't lifting you up, Allow this reading to be the lifting up here. So success is subjective. It changes over time. There are periods in your life where there's a lot more, sort of positivity or success, and then there's a lot more challenge. But you can make anything a successful experience if you learn from it. If you're not repeating mistakes, if you're growing, you're exactly where you need to be. And as I get older, it's more about feeling that sense of I fulfilled my goals. I feel fulfilled. I'm lifted up, and I made an impact. That to me is success, right? Very different than what I thought it might be like 20 or 30 years ago. The older you get, the less you care about other people's opinions in the best possible way. You know what I'm talking about? Because that doesn't matter. When you go into the next dimension, you're grading yourself, and it makes it it's so liberating. So if there is someone there throwing barbs at you, it speaks more to them, and you don't have to react. You could just say, I'm good. You seem really upset. I'm fine. Do you want to talk about, are you happy? What's going on? So just mirror it back and don't give it any bother or any mind. How can you accomplish the Six of Wands? Speaking up, walking the walk, talking the talk. That's the King of Swords, right? And for many of you, if you can't walk the walk, then you know that it's time to move in a new direction. And you're your own best motivator and your own best therapist when it comes to that. So if you know what you need or want to do, now is the time to start planting the seeds and slowly starting to turn the ship in a new direction, okay? Let me take a look at what some of you are dealing with in the main channel or in the main chat here. So let's see. Okay, I want to look quickly, and let me just keep an eye on time. I think we're doing all right here. I quickly want to look at, I know when the sun sets, I need to stop here. Let's take a look quickly at exhaustion and motivation. I think the two go hand in hand. So that's a great thing that I think everybody can deal with. So how can you get a little bit more motivated in this moment in time? Okay. All right, so let's talk. All right, so the first card is kind of interesting. Some of you are very much in your own world. The Hermit card is great, but there are sort of like, there is a limit to how long you should or even can be hermiting. So the first message I get here is to change up where you're working or studying or whatever, and a little more social interaction, because we're looking at this from the lens of how can you get unblocked. Know yourself, know your triggers, do the inner work, absolutely. But I think also coming out of your shell, finding kindred spirits that have also done the work. It's not about how many people, it's just about people that are also in that same sort of enriched state. That's one thing. For some of you here, it's about how you're managing the load. This Ten of Wands is pretty good, actually. In the traditional deck, which I'll find it here as we're talking, the person doesn't lift the weight correctly. They're trying to do it all. So do less, but do it better is the first thing that I see. Lots of changing of location keeps coming through, because that can be travel or moving on. You're very close to accomplishing something or finishing something. So I would encourage you to see how far you've come and sort of celebrate the success. Here we go. Here's your traditional one, and let's look at the difference between these two. So traditional one, he is not lifting that correctly. I am not a trainer, but I know that he's going to throw his neck and back out by doing that. And in this version, much better distribution of weight, right? So what happens sometimes is we feel this sense that I'm the only one. If I don't do it, it won't get done. We also feel the pressure of starting something new, like, oh, it's going to be so much work. It's so much easier to do this. I don't feel like doing it. For me tonight, I was like, let me just see if I can get through the daily read. If I can get that done, I'll just put a graphic up. I'm not going to even think about it. We'll go live. Like, sometimes you just have to push the button, because if you get in your headspace too much, you're cozied up on the couch with the blanket and the dog and your iPad, and it's done. So sometimes it's just pushing go, getting in the car, trying something. I also think that we have here the inner saboteur that's coming through, which is sometimes Seven of Swords can come up and saying, oh, don't worry about it. It can be, actually, Five of Swords is a little more saboteur. Seven of Swords is a little bit more lying to yourself, saying, oh, it's not going to matter. I can do it tomorrow. I'll catch up later. You know that you really should do something, but you tell yourself that it doesn't matter. So keeping yourself accountable to goals, having someone help you stay accountable if necessary could also be advantageous. All of these things are coming through. Okay, I hope that answered. Okay, so yes, you're right. In the Light Seers, she has an ox to assist. In fact, I might use that for the next read here. All right, let's see. Anything else that's going on here? You know, I think actually one thing that could be good here is manifestation. So if there's something that you're working on, let's put it as broad as possible. If there's something you're working on, what can you do today or tomorrow, depending on when you watch this, to bring it one step closer to fruition? What's your next step? That's really this question. Okay, I want to clarify the Ace of Cups. Okay, so the Ace of Cups in and of itself is good. It's basically showing creativity, opportunity, receptivity, but it's almost as if you're questioning where it's coming from. So upright position, Ace of Cups, right around the heart space, tuned in, feel it, believe it, trust it. In the reverse state, it's coming through, and many of you know what you want, but it could either be the worthiness that we've been talking about, or it's just like you're so worried about how it fits in. The Ace of Cups shouldn't be that cognitive. It should, if it feels right, do it. That's actually the best way that I can give you what you need in this moment. If you feel like you need to do something, it's the time to make that action happen. We have the Hanged Man in reverse. So the one thing that I would say for you is there could be another way that you haven't yet explored. When you pause and actually connect with the true energy of the Hanged Man, you're allowed to see things from a new perspective or a new direction, or you see your own situation with a new set of eyes. So I think it's easier to accomplish something than you may imagine. I think there may be something that is within reach, and I think that there's too much thought going into it. Feel it rather than think it. And I'm very rarely going to say that, except when it comes to intuition. Because intuition it's presented. It doesn't have to make sense. It's a message. So trust in your downloads, trust in your creativity, and act based on that, okay? And now, for everybody watching, whenever you're watching, it's your chance to ask one final question, because we're going to keep this kind of short. I like short and sweet for the mini reads. So one final question. What is it you need clarity on? Just put it out there. We'll give the cards a shuffle, and we'll see what Spirit has to say. Ooh, I like this. So if you had a yes or no question, this is pretty good. Nine of Pentacles, look at how unbothered she is. She's got some wine and cheese. She's got her broom and hat, her magic. She has all of the abundance around her. So one thing that I would say, treat yourself a little bit. This is a card of saying if you've accomplished something in your life, you graduated, or you got a new job, or you worked really hard, whatever your accomplishment is, take a moment to drink it in. And enjoy and treat yourself. And typically by the time Nine of Pentacles comes through, you've earned the right for some sort of celebration or treat. You don't have to do it all alone. That actually pairs nicely with the Ten of Wands that we saw earlier. This is fiercely independent, but sometimes to get to that next card, which has so many people in it, it's about reaching out or accepting help if it comes in. As a yes or no, it's a yes. And it's a yes, but it might take longer than you thought, because this is a slower pace card, but it's slow and steady success, which is something that we all hope for in the long run. So I see movement in the right direction when it comes to finances and opportunity. So just from a channeled perspective, what I'm getting is don't compare or contrast like what others are doing. Focus more on, again, going with the feeling and going with the fulfillment and going with the satisfaction. If all of that's working, then it doesn't matter how quickly you achieve your goal. You're going to get there, and it's going to be what you needed to do. Okay. I hope you like that. I don't do that that often, but it's been difficult until now, until I kind of got settled to do impromptus. So when I feel like doing it, I'll do some more. I missed the new moon because I was just busy getting work done. So I'll try to do some more celestial ones, definitely the next full moon, and anything else that feels right. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Welcome. I think we got a couple members, so I'm just going to take a moment here. Lady Lux, welcome. Brand new member here. Lucy, thank you for the $10. Welcome to Priyanka as well. Thank you, Bonnie, for giving back a little bit. I appreciate that. Schoolhouse, thank you for gifting a membership as well. And I think that's it. Cool. All right, everybody. Lots of love and light. I hope you enjoyed this mini read. Check out, like I said, all of the we're in September monthlies, and I'm just about to do the daily. It'll be up within the next hour. I have to do some editing and et cetera, but it will come up in the next hour. Instead, I did this. I figured I try to also get some people on the other side of the world where this time frame works better than like 9 a.m. So I mix it up occasionally. All right, everybody. Wishing you all the best. See you soon. Thank you for hanging out. I appreciate it. Bye-bye.